Hi guys, this is Joy from Printed Bonnet by Yobi, coming to you with another episode of Sew with Joy. Yay, hi, I hope y'all had a wonderful week. Today I want to talk about something which occurred this week, and it's something that I think a lot of African American women probably have encountered in their lifetime, as far as especially those who have been in the workforce. And that is our facial expressions. So let me first preface this by saying this is not a political conversation. It's more to talk about our faces, okay? Yeah, before I even go into that, y'all check out my nails here. Look at this, okay? My nails, this is the thing, I've always heard all my life that when you have long, strong nails, it means your hair also grows, right? Because it's the same thing that causes your nails to grow that causes your hair to grow. That's an old wives' tale. However, I will say that the one thing that's accurate, though, is, at least for my girls, they both came out with a lot of hair. So maybe somehow it just goes out of me and not necessarily stays with me. So who knows? But anyway, going back to facial expressions. So during the debate this week, I've seen a lot. I didn't watch the debate, I should say that, because to be honest with you, I'm going to be frank with you here. I don't understand the value of having a vice presidential debate. I understand that in the event that something happens, the vice president takes, whatever, takes the seat or takes command and stuff. But I don't, technically you're not voting for the vice president, you're voting for a president. So I think I give more credence to I place more importance, is what I should say, on the presidential debates than I do on the vice presidential debate. Which is not to say that it doesn't matter. I'm sure it matters to a few people. Just for me, it's just not where I place a lot of importance. Now, so going along those lines, I didn't watch the vice presidential debate, and I decided to check it out, check out the reviews and do the fact-checking thing afterwards, because that's what pretty much everybody likes to do. They want to know who was honest and who was not. And I gotta say, the one thing that really got me was that a lot of the things I saw, including the memes, the internet, y'all are just something, because the memes were out within minutes, and it was just something. But there were all these memes about Kamala Harris's facial expressions. And, as a black woman in the workforce, a professional workforce, and by professional, I don't mean I'm a doctor or a lawyer. I just mean I have a profession, or I work in the workforce. But I gotta preface that because I'm sure people will come after me for that. But anyways, as a black woman, I often see, or I often hear people say, well, smile. Why do you have that look on your face? Are you pissed off at someone? Is something wrong? And to me, it's just really? Why can't I just have a face and maybe it reflects something, but it's not about what's going on the outside. You know what I'm saying? So, a lot of people commented she had a condescending face, or the way her face looks was, she looked like she was upset, or she was pissed, or she was rattled. Now, I'm going to tell y'all this, okay? Half the time, I have one of those faces called, I'm not going to, I don't want to cuss here, but it's called a resting bee face, okay? That does not mean I'm pissed. It just means I'm not even focused on anything you're doing on the outside. I am primarily, maybe I'm thinking about something, and it's just the look on my face at that time. So, and in the workforce, I've heard a lot of times where people are like, oh, why don't you smile? Or is something the matter? Nothing's the matter. And to be honest with you, most of my facial expressions have nothing to do with what's going on externally. It has more to do with what's going on internally. So, I'm sure a lot of you have had that or have experienced that, which is not to say that, African American women don't have facial expressions. We do. I do. Lord knows my kids know the difference between me smiling and me telling them something with a smile that's, more serious. So clearly there's something about my facial expression that tells them, it's okay versus it's okay, because you're going to get it later on. Okay? I grew up with that. My mom used to have those facial expressions. There are times when my mom would say something and I knew I was in trouble before before we even got home, but it just is what it is. So, but, I think I was a lot bothered by the way people reacted to her facial expression, saying she looked condescending or whatever. Honestly, so what if she looks a certain way? And maybe I'm a little more sensitive to it because I've been, asked several times, so many times. It's not even funny. What's wrong, or is this upsetting to you, or did I say something and stuff like that. Just take it for what it is. It just is. So now I usually have like a blank or more what I would call a simple facial expression, and then they say, well, you look like you're not engaged. So it's like it's a no-win situation, because if you smile too much, they'll wonder why you're smiling, or maybe you look confused. If you don't smile, then they wonder if you're upset. And when I say they, I don't mean any color specifically. I just mean externally. This is how, I've gotten that comment for smile or are you upset from both, from all races. So, well, for most races. I'm not going to say all. For most races. So I'm not going to say it's one person or another. But, it's like if you smile, people think maybe you're not sure of what you're doing, or you're too friendly and they take you for granted. If you don't smile, they think you're upset and you're not, you don't like the current situation. And then if you just have a blank face, they think you're just completely, clueless. So I don't know that there's any winning in this, and I'm not here to convince people to stop, commenting or asking about people, checking after people if they see something that looks off. Obviously, today is Mental Health Day, and if you see something, I take that approach also with, when you go to the airports, they always say if you see something, say something, or for other, safety type things, if you see something, say something. As mental health goes the same way. If you see something and something doesn't look right, if a family member is going through something and you're not sure, check in on them. But don't just do it based on facial expressions. Do it based on things you've noticed. Maybe the person is usually someone who always hangs out and always wants to do something, and then all of a sudden they're not talking as much. That is where you can actually, help and lend a hand, versus just saying, why aren't you smiling? Can you give me a smile? Like, sometimes, frankly, I don't want to give you a smile. Ain't nothing wrong with that. I don't have to smile at everybody. Or, the one that really gets me, and I think, my mom has to, well, she probably didn't know what she was giving me my name, so I'm not going to blame her, but this is always a funny one. Oh, why so gloom when your name is Joy? And my response, and I'm sorry, maybe because I've heard it all my life, so I'm kind of somewhat rude about it. I'm just like, just because my name is Joy doesn't mean you bring me joy. Why should I be smiling at you? Or the famous one, Joy to the World, which I hear, and I'm sure I'm going to start hearing sometime in the next few weeks, because we're getting close to Christmas, right? That's my favorite time of year, because everybody got jokes. Joy and pain, sunshine and rain. And sometimes I'm like, yeah, I'm going to bring you some rain. Please be quiet. But the whole thing about facial expressions, I know we're humans and we often read people based on how they look or how they're feeling or what they're saying. And I am one for, I usually take nonverbal cues from people. So you can tell me hello, and the way you tell me hello, which is obviously from nonverbal cues, will tell me whether or not you really mean the hello. So, but at the same time, I don't feel that when I say we, yes, this I actually do mean race-wise. We should judge other African-American women just by the way their face looks, because it's almost like there's no winning. We do tend to be a little more on the serious side, but that doesn't mean we don't have a playful personality or a playful side. We have a playful side. And if you know a woman out there and she's just not smiling, don't go up and ask her, hey, why the long face, or why are you not smiling? I think my recommendation to you, which I actually prefer, is when someone says something to either make me laugh or, they say, hey, so what's going on? That is a better approach to, our facial expressions than saying, why the long face? Because automatically you just put me off when you're like, Joy, why the long face? Are you upset about something? Because even if I wasn't upset before, now you don't enter. You've gotten on my bad side. And I should mention that my kids are about to get into a fight, so I hear that, which tells me I'm gonna have to log off soon. But anyways, I'd like to hear your thoughts. Have you guys ever encountered or experienced that? And how do you feel about it? Because I think a lot was made out of the fact that Miss Harris was not smiling. or the fact that she had some specific facial expressions. Yo, we have different facial expressions. Humans communicate by nonverbal cues and verbal cues. So I think it's important not to judge based on what you see. Let me tell you something funny, right? So obviously my husband is not African American, and he was like, I didn't really get that because I didn't notice it. And my first immediate response to him is, that's because you're married to a black woman, so you probably are used to seeing my different facial expressions. So like me having a facial expression or whatever doesn't really come off as a certain thing. You're kind of used to just saying, maybe she got something else on her mind or whatever, or she's probably not even thinking about anything I'm saying right now. But yo, the one you gotta give credit to from that debate, and I know I said this was not a political debate, but conversation, but how about that fly, yo? I mean, the jokes. It was funny. And I couldn't help but laugh. I was like, holy smokes. How do you keep a fly on your head for over 2 minutes? I do not understand. I do not know. I've never encountered that before, except for when it's, well, I'm not going to get into that. But anyways, that was an interesting debate. So today I am working on the Fair African print bonnet. It's a satin lined bonnet. It's very colorful. I'm going to tell you, this has been our most popular bonnet. Like, I can't seem to keep this one in stock. I buy it, it sells out. I buy it, it sells out. Like, I buy the fabric and it sells out. I also make it on hand because I always know that regardless, I'm going to sell it. So it's always worth it to have a few on hand. We did introduce a couple of new prints. If you have not visited our website yet, take a moment to visit. It's www.printedbonnet.com. And one was a shower bonnet and the other was a sleep bonnet. So they are very, very nice. They're also very seasonal, and also if you haven't already joined our mailing list, you definitely want to do that. I got a lot of requests for one of our shower bonnets that sold out last year. It sold out really quickly. I want to say, like, I bought quite a bit of the fabric, and within 2 months, yeah, it was done. It was sold out. So thankfully a supplier just restocked. So guess what I did? I bought a whole bunch of it. I actually think I almost bought out their entire inventory. But I'm very happy, and I'm looking forward to it arriving. It's actually supposed to arrive today. So once it arrives, I'm gonna get to sewing, chop. So someone actually sent me a note earlier this week, which was it earlier this week? It was late this week, so it was on Thursday, I believe. And she was talking about how she had never slept with her hair bonnet, and she found that my site actually was through Etsy, and she purchased a bonnet and just was so happy to have it. Yo, let me tell you, you do not want to sleep on our bonnets. Well, let me rephrase that. You want to sleep in our bonnets, not on our bonnets, okay? But it's they're very comfortable. They hold. So I don't make the standard hair bonnet that is much smaller and can barely hold a hairstyle. Or if you have a puff or afro, your hair doesn't fit into it. No, I make these big enough so that when you put your hair in it, it's comfortable, and you can still wear the bonnet all day long, so it's not too painful to wear. So we also have the bonnet wrap, which is also very, very, very comfortable. That one, the bonnet wrap, is for, hey, I'm about to go out, I want to throw something on my head. Either my hair's in a protective style and I just don't want to take out my protective style to do anything else. So that's why we have the bonnet wrap. Right now we have 3 different fabric options. I try not to repeat the same fabric patterns for bonnets and bonnet wraps, just to avoid confusion for people, because I don't want someone to purchase a bonnet wrap and think they bought a bonnet, or someone to purchase a bonnet and think they bought a bonnet wrap. So for those wondering, that's why I do it that way. Now, oh yes, the other thing I wanted to mention, because we're getting closer, we're about 3 weeks out. If you're in the United States and you're eligible to vote, please vote. I don't care who you vote for, as long as you get your behind to the polls, or you request a mailing ballot if your state has those guidelines. It's very important. this year, I think what people are saying is vote like your life depends on it. It really does, regardless of who you vote for. The decisions you make at the poll definitely impacts your lifestyle. So they're the ones who select the people who sit on the Supreme Court. They're the ones who select where infrastructure should go. So when you make these kinds of decisions, make an educated decision, go online, read up on the people who are running for office, find out where they stand, and then cast your vote based on what's important to you. And if you're God-fearing Christian, also pray about it before you cast your vote. So don't just cast your vote for anybody. But anyways, I've done with this bonnet here. I'm going to show it to you shortly. I have a little piece of thread here that I'm trying to take out so that it looks like a finished product, because I don't want y'all coming back for me and saying, hey, it looks like it was half done. No, no, no. No half done bonnets here. You buy a bonnet from us, you're going to love it. So anyways, this is the fab bonnet I was talking to you about. As you can see, it's pretty large. Like, look at the size of that. Let me get that a little bit. Look at the size of that and look at the size of my head. And it's awesome. If you haven't done so, go check it out on our website before this batch sells out. Actually, it's not going to sell out anytime soon, because I think, again, for this fabric, I actually went ahead and ordered a whole bunch when the supplier had them. So, thank you for watching, and remember, don't judge a book by its cover. So just because my face has a certain look does not mean it's about you. It could just be about me and what I'm thinking. So until next time, have a wonderfully blessed weekend, and if you have not done so, visit our website at www.printedbonnet.com. Take care. Bye.